Trump saying he wants a straight 50% tariff on the EU beginning June 1st.
Therefore, I am recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting on June 1st of 2025. There is no tariff if the product is built or manufactured.
No matter how powerful America think it is, when the rest of the world decided to push back, they respond twice as hard. And that's exactly what started happening during Trump's presidency. Everyone talk about the US-China trade war, but nobody seems to notice the quiet war between America and European Union. It's like a silent battlefield, and guess who is bleeding? Yup, the everyday American who has nothing to do with anything. We are actually suffering the most in terms of all this conflict happening right now. And in this mess, Canada has gone from being America's best buddy to its more sarcastic neighbor. This whole drama kicked off when Trump proudly declared that Canada should become the 51st state of United States.
So as Canada and the United States, that would really be something. It should be a state.
Bold, right? But Canada wasn't amused. Their top leaders straight up roasted Trump one after another. And things only got worse when Trump launched his famous tariff war. Let's not forget, America shares one of its most significant economic partnership with Canada. From trade, imports, exports, everything. And Trump just decided to mess with all of it. In March 2025, President Trump slapped a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imports from Canada and the European Union.
Trump saying he wants a straight 50% tariff on the EU beginning June 1st.
Therefore, I am recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting on June 1st of 2025. There is no tariff if the product is built or manufactured in the United States.
So naturally, Canada clapped back with retaliatory tariff on about 300 billion worth of US goods, steels, computers, sports gear, you name it. They just added the same tariff like USA. The European Union wasn't far behind. They hit back with tariff worth of 26 billion euro, targeting American beef, bourbon, motorcycle and jeans.
Harley Davidson motorcycles? Check. Levi's jeans? Oh, they're on the list too. And peanut butter? Yep, even that somehow got dragged into Europe's counterstrike. It was less an economic dispute and more like a bitter breakup where both sides are throwing each other's favorite stuff out the window. But retaliation wasn't where the mess stopped. It's where it started getting messy and personal. Take Harley Davidson, one of the most quintessentially American brands. Suddenly, their exports to Europe looked like they'd been run over by, well, one of their own bikes. Production costs soared, profits stalled, and the tattooed biker dudes who swore by Harley found themselves cursing these new economic barriers.
And no, that wasn't the end of it. This is where it really gets spicy. Now Canada and European Union have teamed up. They basically turned their back on Trump, and who is paying the price? Not Trump, the American people. The US agricultural industry is suffering massively. American farmers used to benefit from great trade deals with both Canada and EU. But now, because of Trump's ego-driven tariff, they are caught in the middle of full-blown economic disaster.
US farmers also took a hit, a $23 billion sized hit to be exact. Crops, dairy, meat, everything they were shipping to Europe now came with a hefty price tag thanks to return fire tariffs,
dramatically raising the tensions in his global trade war. That came just a short time ago via Truth Social, his own social media network.
There is also the potential of targeting EU exports to the United States, and these are scrap metals, iron, aluminium, and steel.
And it comes despite a recent pause on tariffs for 90 days. We're still well within that window.
When Canada's longtime leader Justin Trudeau stepped down, some thought the new PM Mark Joseph Carney might go easier on Trump, but that didn't happen. Carney made it clear he is completely against Trump's way of doing business. He even said that America doesn't want to let Canada live freely and independently.
America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us.
Meanwhile, the world is headed towards a massive crisis, climate changes on the side, economic instability on the other, and while most countries are trying to hold things together, the US is busy making enemies out of allies. Canada and the EU didn't fall for the trap. In fact, Canada is now signing new deals with the EU.
We have a summit, EU-Canada summit, just before the NATO summit, third week of June. At the NATO summit, NATO partners are going to be asked to spend more, to do more, for mutual protection. We're going to participate in that. But part of the way we want to participate in that is with new partners, with European partners.
But why didn't the EU accept the US tariff? Because when someone gives you a ridiculous, over-the-top demand that makes zero sense, you are not going to say yes. The EU saw it for what it really was. The EU saw it as a threat.
The EU has not been willing to budge. The EU is dedicated to the global trade order, the predictable rules that we've had.
It's not pharmaceuticals, health-related products. This includes things like syringes and tampons, alcohol and batteries.
The EU cannot accept this 10% tariff, general tariff, and then 25% on cars.
And it's not just them. Countries like China, Russia, Asian nations, none of them are happy with this tariff. They see it as a direct attack on world trade. Even the World Trade Organization is sitting there scratching their heads like, what is even going on?
Agricultural goods, cars, and aircraft. The Commission has also launched a complaint against U.S. trade tariffs with the World Trade Organization.
You might be thinking, well, I live in America, I'm doing fine. Really? Are you? Look at your bills. Look at how much more you are paying for daily essentials. Who is paying for this retaliatory tariff? You are the one, out of your own pocket, paying everything up. Trump isn't paying a dime. It's all on you. At the end of the day, it's American public that's suffering. While Trump keeps shouting empty slogans, meanwhile other world leaders are focused on strengthening their economic and protecting their borders.
We need to do much more to secure our borders, to secure our Arctic, to secure Canada. So we're going to need to spend more. We recognize that. Now we're going to do it in a way that is in the best interests of Canada, with partners on which we can rely, get best value for money, but also make more of that investment here in Canada so we're growing jobs and livelihoods in our own country.
Right now it feels like America has become global punching bag, and countries like Canada and EU aren't afraid anymore. They are no longer waiting for the US to fix things or make place or make peace. They know they have the power to stand up. They are doing just that.
In a few months, the tone of Canada's foreign policy has changed completely. They are no longer waiting for the US to act wisely. They are building their own future with partners who act like grown-ups. This is not just a cold realization. It's a warning to Washington. Respect is earned, not assumed. And under Trump, America is slowly losing that respect from even its closest allies. Canada is no longer waiting for the United States to lead. Under Prime Minister Mark Carney, the country is building a new path forward, and it begins with Europe. While Trump threatens tariffs and pushes allies away, Canada is pulling its new friends closer.
And Trump, he is still out there preaching his outdated fantasy that if Canada just became a US state, everything would be great, free trade, free military, free everything. But his so-called tariff strategy hasn't helped a single soul in America. In fact, it turned into a full-blown threat.
I think that there are tremendous benefits to the Canadian citizens, tremendously lower taxes, free military, which honestly we give you essentially anyway because we're protecting Canada if you ever had a problem. But I think it would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
When faced with deliberate economic harm designed to force capitulation on sovereign policy matters, Canada must pursue unprecedented partnerships to protect its workers, industries, and economic future. The European Union represents not just a market, but a community of shared democratic values and rules-based cooperation. The application invokes Article 49 of the Treaty on European Union, initiating what would be the most significant expansion in the bloc's history. Crucially, it includes a request for expedited consideration under provisions for extraordinary geopolitical circumstances, citing the immediate economic emergency created by the U.S. tariffs.
So where is this trade war heading? Who knows? But one thing is for sure, Canada and Europe are furious. They are responding hard, looking at how things are going. America doesn't seem ready to handle what is coming next. The day are ticking. Sooner or later, every American will going to realize just how much they have lost in this war. Keep the track, guys. Stay with us. This is just the beginning.